Another Philosophy Friday here for you. Today's lesson, practice makes permanent. But it goes deeper than that. It also means right practice makes permanently playing it right, or how you want it to as a goal. Bad practice or repetitious mistakes mean you'll get locked in the cycle of repeating those mistakes. So just like in life and music, you have to learn from your mistakes. Otherwise, you're going to keep repeating it. So let's go back to a time where I was learning to play piano. I was a kid. And then we had the song called the Ave Maria, or technically it was the Prelude. The music was called the Prelude. And then, it's really long. That's the Prelude, but when you sing over it, then it's the Ave Maria. So that song. Now, I was learning it on the piano, and I was learning it, piece by piece. And we use all of our senses, right? Have you ever been driving a car, and you needed to really concentrate? You were looking out the window, and you were trying to really, really focus on paying attention, and you turn down the music? Why do you do that? Technically, the sound shouldn't interfere with your eyesight, right? Well, do you know why we do that? We do that because our brain can only focus on so many things at once, and it's overstimulating. So when we block off some senses, then the senses that are still open can be much more perceptive and very much more engaged in everything going on. So in the same sense with music, we use our senses. Are you a kinesthetic learner? Are you an auditory learner? Are you a visual learner? Or are we kind of all of them, or a combination? Some of us use all, some of us use multiple, some of us have ones as a strength, some of us have others as a weakness. But that being the case, it's good to learn things from different angles. So how does this relate to music? When I was learning the Ave Maria, I learned it, and it's a very long song, and all the chords, are moving and changing shape throughout the whole song. And I learned it, practiced it, learned it, cool. And then years later, I was trying to play it again. And I could not for the life of me get it. So I was like, okay, let me try to read the music again. I was a slow sight reader. I was trying, it wasn't working. Let me just try to go and try to get it and keep trying. Couldn't get it. And I got frustrated and I couldn't get it. And I was about to give up. And I was so upset. I was like, I spent all this time learning it. And I don't remember it now, and I can't even try to read it because I was getting in my own way. And so I was like, I took a deep breath. I was like, let me try one more time. And I kid you not, I closed my eyes, and I started slow, like when I would practice it, and I played through the whole thing without one mistake. Why? Because muscle memory, or because practice makes permanent. Let's say you play guitar, but you always play, sitting down, bad posture, hunched over, in your chair, and you play it a certain way, right? But that's the way you most play it. That's the way you practice it. Play it most often. And now let's say you go to a show, and you need to stand and perform, and, maybe even sing at the same time. Now, yes, it's a new experience because you got the audience there, but also, if you're not used to playing standing up as much as you're sitting down, would it make sense that you would play as good as you do the way you always play it when you play it a new way? I don't think so. So whether we're playing music or we're doing things in life, are you learning from your mistakes? Do you pivot and get it right? Or do you fall into the same cycle? I, once upon a time, was just, playing this way, and then one day decided to flip it around and do it all these, do it this way. And this was really new and weird at first. But after some time, this became a different kind of second nature. So I'm not necessarily thinking, oh, I'm in right-handed, oh, I'm in left-handed. When the guitar's in a certain position, this hand just drifts in a certain way. It's just used to being on these strings at this angle because I play it that way. And then flipping it, I'm not like, okay, okay, I have to think of the music differently. No, same frets, same numbers, sometimes same fingers. So whether they're the same fingers or not, if you're looking at things from different angles and you're practicing them the way you're intentionally practice. You're not just trying. You're taking notes and you're deciphering the best technique to achieve whatever goal you got going on. Whatever song you want to learn, whatever job you want to get, whatever lifestyle you want to achieve. It's trial and error, but you gotta take notes. You gotta be accountable. You gotta look at what you've done and be like, okay, well, what's working and what's not working. So today's Philosophy Friday, or our life lessons through music. As I play music, I know that practice makes permanent in a good and a bad way. So be careful. Your choices, your actions are so important. So let's say I'm trying to let's say I'm playing a certain progression, right? And let's say I'm trying to play some notes. And I'm trying to achieve whatever I want to do. Let's say I mess up, Let's say I mess up and then I try again. I don't think about why I mess up, but I try again. If I try it the same way, there's a high chance, unless I took notes on why I messed up, there's a high likelihood I'm going to make the same mistake. Because practice makes permanent. So sometimes, haven't you been trying to learn a song, learn to play something, and you keep messing up at the same spot? You keep doing it. Well, to try the same thing again and again and expect a different result is what? Some of you know. Yeah, the definition of insanity. So if you make the same mistake you should try to learn from every mistake, true or false. But if you make the same mistake more than once, try to really see what's going on so you can try to figure out where you want to go. Because you don't want to get stuck in the cycle where you're doing the same thing, same mistake, right? So practice makes permanent. You are more powerful than you think because practice makes permanent. We develop our own internal muscle memory. If you got optimism in your mind and gratitude, you walk around thinking, ooh, I'm grateful for this, I'm grateful for that. I'm going to achieve this, I can do this. You're probably going to have a positive day. But if you're the kind who's always like, oh, woe is me, and I'm thinking about, I'm a victim, and how could this happen, and how could that happen? If you think of as above, so below, or yin and yang, it's 50-50, right? Is the glass half empty or half full? I always kind of say, you know what, it's full. It's half full of air, and half full of whatever shit is in the cup. So I can tell myself I'm going to have a good day. I can tell myself I'm going to have a bad day. But either way, I'm probably going to be right. So if that's the case, would you really want to be negative? Would you really want to make the same mistakes? I don't think so. Yet we all do that. I'm guilty of it too, I'm not saying I'm better than anybody by any stretch of the imagination. So that being said, practice makes permanent. Think about what you do and don't make the same mistake more than twice. They say a wise man learns from his mistakes. No, they don't. I said it wrong. They say a smart man learns from his mistakes. A wise man learns from other people's mistakes. But in the sense of practicing and fully living life, I would say the best man does both. Because if you're just doing what other people are saying, you're not really making any of your own choices. You're just living through them. And one day you're going to have to think for yourself and act on that. So anyway, don't want to ramble on too much. For today, practice makes permanent. So no matter what difficulty level you're at, if you work at it, it'll become easy. It'll become second nature. It'll become its own muscle memory, its own permanent practice. I mean, we're wired to be symmetrical, right? keep on living and keep on spreading your light.